Hello everybody, welcome back to the Nocturnal Gaming Network. My name is Xeriua, and today we are playing Spaceflight Simulator once again. Today we are going to head back to the build menu and we are going to begin work on actually assembling the docking modules. So the first thing we're going to do today is throw a fairing in place, and we're just going to... Yeah, that's probably good enough. That gets me what I need to start spacing this thing out. Basically, what we're going to do is we're going to do a docking arm, and we're just going to throw a couple of these things and a couple of these things. There we are, something like that. And, oh, we need a probe core, right? I think that's probably everything we need out of there for now. So, the point of this docking module is to give us multiple different places to attach to. So we're going to do 5 of these 20-ton fuel tanks, and the fuel tank part is not really why I'm choosing them. I'm choosing them because of the size and whatnot, relative to the space station. And we're going to put some docking stuff on right there. So that's how we attach it. This right here is where it's going to be actually attaching to the station. And then we're going to put a couple of these bigger ones here like this. And that will allow us to have a 6-port module here to attach to. We're going to do multiple 2-port modules, something like that. And how about let's put them in between, and then we have the 4, which I'm actually probably going to take a couple more 20-ton tanks and probably put like I don't know, something like this. I mean, not necessarily exactly like that, but I'm going to have stuff coming off like this, so we have a little raised area to actually connect into. And then I'm thinking I'm going to put a couple small ports like right in here, something like this when we actually get it into space. But that's not really a shape we can efficiently launch. So this is what we're going to launch today. We can continue with the fairing here. Actually, I need this. I need a broadsword, and I need a couple RCS thrusters here. Something like this. Now, part of me wants to also go through and put like a set of RCS thrusters like right here. Nah, we aren't going to put RCS thrusters there. Something like this. We're going to go back to utility, and I'm going to grab a couple of these little structural members, put them like that. Now we can go back to aerodynamic, and we can begin to build our fairing here. Something like this, and I'm just going to flare it out as I need to. So we'll have the 4, and then the 6, and then eventually we'll flare out to 8. I think it's going to be 8, right? Nope, not that one. That one. Yeah, so there we are. I can actually start flaring this one back down like immediately after. That's nice. Should I put one of these in here just for style? No, that's not what we want to do. We'll just finish with this just like that. All right. And there's our separator. So this fairing is now locked in place. What we are going to do is build 1, 2, 3, and like this. 1, 2, 3. No, that's not what we want. How much fuel is this? 9, and that has 18. Okay, so if I do this, we are slightly staggered, but we have the same amount of fuel in both modules. That will allow... Oh, it won't. We'll have to stagger it down. One more block. So like this. There we go. Because I want this thing to look beautiful, just like all my other rockets, right? Looks are part of function here. We can't have an ugly looking rocket. Now, this is a more powerful version of the 3-tier rocket I like to use, but this is going to be a second stage this time. So what we need is we need a couple of these big fuel tanks, and we're going to neck it down something like this, right? And what we're going to do is put some Titans. Bam! The Titans are here. Okay. So 1, 2, neck it down. One of these, or one of those. La-da-da, la-da-da. And we can just sort of put our separators on, balance them out really nicely, and then put a final 20-ton fuel tank and our nose cones. Not a landing leg, a nose cone. Thank you. And here's our finished rocket. We have almost a 2-to-1 thrust ratio on this one, so that's good. Let's launch it. I think that's basically everything we need here. Oh, look at this thing. It looks absolutely epic, and it's not going to crash and explode like the previous one may or may not have. Here it is, my nice thumbnail. All right, so now we can go to 100% thrust. We're going to start with these engines. And although that doesn't quite give me the same thrust to weight ratio, those should be more than enough to actually get me up launched. So we're going to zoom in, get ourselves ready for this, go back to what did I do? Oh, I did switch. Whoops. Okay, so I switched instead of setting it as target. There we go. Now we've set the station as our target. Zoom back in, go to our map, and it's time to launch the rocket. Boom! All for our firing. Perfect. So, as always, we follow it, wait until about 200 meters off the ground, and then we can very slowly start rolling. Alright, and once we get to our 2000, we're just going to be, normally doing our nice gravity turn here. Sort of want to roll a little faster, I think. There we go, that's probably good. We do want to make sure that we don't roll over too fast, because we want to make sure we get height out of this. Because if we don't get height, then the second stage I don't think is really going to be powerful enough this low in the atmosphere. We want to make sure that we're high enough that the second stage can actually get us somewhere. And with this, our goal is to achieve a decent speed before we run out of fuel in our 2 boosters. There we go. We're also probably going to come very close to actually getting our apoaps out of the atmosphere. It's not quite going to be there, I don't think, but it'll be close enough. Get ready to separate. Alright, there we are. We're actually going to turn these 3 on before we separate. There we go, and boom! 30. Alright, and we can actually lower the thrust down a little bit. We're just waiting until we actually can make it out of the atmosphere. So we're going to about 25 kilometers here. I sort of want to just, what am I looking for here? Time warp forward, but at the same time I don't, because time warping forward loses us speed, and we don't really want to lose speed. We want to keep going fast here. So there we are. We are out of the atmosphere, and we've got plenty of fuel left here, which is actually sort of a surprise, because the previous time I attempted this, I sort of messed up a little bit and had a little less fuel than I needed. But that's okay. That's okay. Once we actually release this beast from the tri-tier rocket configuration, and previously previously the thing I did was instead of having the 3 tanks, I only had 2 tanks, and that was not enough fuel. So that's why I put the extra tank on there. But yeah, we've made it like perfectly here. We have way too much fuel on this stage. So what we're actually going to do is we're going to use these tanks to boost us out to the 250 kilometers that we need to be to intercept with the station, and then we're just going to turn around and dump them. So something like that, 251. That's perfect. All right, so we have 27% fuel, which is too much. I apologize. Like I said, last time I tried to get it really close, I was just under my fuel that I needed. I couldn't make it out of the, into a nice stable orbit, and I ended up actually using a ton of... Ooh, I forgot to separate the fairing. Good thing we're doing it this way. So we're going to lower our apoaps, not apoaps, the periaps, just like this. We're going to pop the fairing, please. Thank you. And then we're going to separate this. Now, the hard part is going to be to avoid smacking into this thing. So what we're actually going to do, first off, is set this up to automatically fill this back up with fuel as we go. We're going to turn our RCS thrusters on, and we are going to move ourselves out of the way of this one before we turn around, and actually need to turn this engine on too here. Just like that. Now I can go through and raise my periaps again. So something like this. Ooh, and I've actually achieved a fairly nice intercept with the with the station here too. 250.7. I want to turn interior a little bit here. Just a little bit radial in so I can try and lower my apoaps. Oh wait, sorry, my apoaps is behind me. I need to turn radial out to lower the apoaps. There we go, something like this. There we go. See how it's lowering now? That's perfect. Now, we want to watch the approach and see how close of an approach we can get here. I don't know if we're going to be able to do it. It should switch fairly soon. And there's 250, so let's go back prograde here. We're actually going to go around just so we can get a nice burn going at apoaps, so we don't affect our apoaps that much. We can keep it about where we need it. So right about here, and now we can burn again. And let's see if we can change that approach any. It looks like it's still getting further away. So we're going to have to do this the old-fashioned way, because the really close, wonderful approach that I was looking for would have happened, you know, when we were still a periaps inside the planet. So that won't work. We're just going to go around a few more times here, and we'll catch up with it. So like, I don't know, 3-4 more times. Bam, right here. This will be basically perfect. We're not going to have quite as small of a distance as I would have liked, but that's okay. What we can do is, once again, increase our periaps to like 240 or something, let's say. 45, 46, 47. Hey, that's pretty close. Now we'll go around a couple more times, and that will very slowly bring us together. Maybe 2 times around is what we're going to need. Yeah, look at this. Ooh, this is like perfect here. I don't know how close we are, but we should be able to see the station. There's the station. Look at that. So what we're going to do is we're going to turn ourselves to roughly the correct intercept angle. So like right about there. And we'll turn our boosters on. Okay, and then we can turn ourselves basically pointing straight downward relative to this view. Alright, and we can time warp. We're going a little too fast downwards. So we'll use our RCS thrusters to cancel out some of that momentum. Need to cancel out a little more. Something like this. We're almost there. There we go. Okay, and now we're pretty well going sideways relative to this thing. So let's accelerate time just a little bit. We do need to cancel out some more downward momentum, and we actually need to start canceling out our sideways momentum too, because we don't want to smack into this thing. Oh dear. Uh-oh. Abort! Abort, abort, abort. We are going to smash into it. Turn ourselves really quickly. Oh, look at that. Look at that. We just barely avoided catastrophe. Alright. Okay. I don't know how we managed to avoid smacking into that solar wing, but we did. We're going to go to like... There we go. Okay. I have no idea how I managed to do that. We were so close to smashing that solar wing. Alright, we need to head downward again. This is good. Let's time warp a little bit. Okay, now we can start canceling out our sideways momentum. Once again, this time we need to be really careful just to get ourselves close, but not on a collision course, like going way too fast. Alright, we're actually heading about in the right direction here. Let's do a little time warping very slowly. There we go. A little more time warp. We need to be going back to the right relative to this. There we are. Okay. Whew. I still can't believe I didn't smash into this thing. I was trying so hard. Alright. Little teeny bit more time warping. And then we can just do the final approach. So just like this. And this is perfect angle, perfect speed. Boom. There we are. So now we have our two solar arms. As you can see, I have the big ports. I'm going to put another, I'm thinking a two 20-ton unit facing interior to this, and I'll put a big 4 docking port on that, and I'm thinking like maybe a 2 on this side also, going this way, and then off this bottom port, I'm going to put another long, maybe like a 5 unit and it's just going to be off the center here, and that will get any really big craft far enough away that we can assemble them in peace. So, as always, the final part of one of these videos, we have to go through and deorbit the craft, and this time we're going to be very, very careful to leave enough fuel in this little module here to actually make deorbiting possible, because I don't want to go chase one of these down again. Bam, 6. All right. So we're ready. Go here. There it is. RCS thruster away. Rotate ourselves retrograde, and there we go. Alright, and we are on a collision course with the planet. We are out of fuel. Let's switch back to the station. And we're actually going to turn on RCS thrusters again. And we're just going to fix our orbit, because apparently the last time when we fixed it, we didn't do... Oh, I'm going the wrong way here. We didn't do really a good enough job to make sure that we did it right here. Come on. Alright, we're going to have to head around. There's that module deorbited. Bam, and we just go up a little teeny tiny bit. There we are, 250 by 250 once again. And that'll be it for this episode, so thank you all so much for watching. My name's Xeriua, and this is the Nocturnal Gaming Network bringing you Spaceflight Simulator. Have yourselves a wonderful night, everybody.